Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
And it's always great to be back.
It is. And so before we get going, we just wanted to say thanks to some of our new Patreons and just some amazing, beautiful people that we've been blessed to be able to work with and help.
Yes, so we want to say a huge thank you to Talia, Justin, and Flora. And we want to say thank you to Lisa and Lightbody, and say thank you to Rebecca. Your guys' support means so much to us. I don't know if you understand how important it is, but we really want to put emphasis on that. Thank you.
Yeah, the powers that be, they do what they do. And so, without the support on Patreon and Ko-Fi, and also the ability to help you guys, and then, your donations, we wouldn't be able to keep going with this as they are, really putting the screws on big time, massively.
Yeah, for anybody who they even think might be speaking the truth, because we ran into that today. We got a label because the AI system picked up on what we might be insinuating.
And yet we weren't insinuating it. We were just basically quoting a Associated Press article. But as we know, free speech is dead. And, it is what it is, but we're going to keep pushing.
Yes, we're going to keep going. Thanks, you guys.
So we see 2021 in a landslide. Yeah. Deadliest week of avalanches in more than a century in the U.S. Over 15 people lost their lives. We talked about the 4 skiers in Utah in avalanches. This is crazy.
I know. I was thinking those avalanches might be something more Earth-related. Perhaps it's just a tiny symptom of something much bigger.
6 different states, right? From January 31st to February 6th. This is just a week. Utah, Montana, Colorado, California, Arkansas, and New Hampshire. Wow.
That's a lot.
And I know one of our family members was saying something about North Carolina, because the Appalachians is a safe zone. And, I responded that, we just worry about nuclear power plants. That's always something that we keep in mind. And you have to find pockets when you go on the eastern side of the Mississippi. There's not many nuclear power plants west of the Mississippi. There's a couple in Texas, and really not that many otherwise. But in the east, there's a ton. Up around Michigan, there's a ton. In the northeast, it's just loaded with them. So that was one of the things that came to mind. But just the fact that I experienced landslides, actually I heard landslides from my front porch when I lived in, I lived in a tiny town called Clyde, very close to Waynesville, which, one of my favorite spots too. And that was like sobering, because like when you're living on the side of the mountain, it's very different. Like where we have been now, even though we're at, twice the altitude, the mountains are, miles off. So if there was a landslide, we wouldn't be affected. We're just kind of on a plateau.
Right, exactly. That's true. Yep.
But we have seen landslides everywhere. South America, there's been brutal ones. And in India, Himalayas, all over the place. There's been just so many landslides, and it's just part of what's going on in these times. There's videos here, so you guys could check it out if you're so inclined. In total, 21 people have died in avalanches across the country so far this winter season as of Monday. And as you see, these people digging and looking, it's sad and it's scary. And, we're going through extremes here, guys, real extremes. And if it isn't snow coming down on us, it's the rain, and the floods that just wash people away.
I know, and these are all things that we need to be prepared for.
And you can see how far down this Arctic zone is going to go. It's going to go all the way into Mexico.
Yes, that's pretty big.
Yeah, look at Texas, entirely enveloped. Same thing with Louisiana, Mississippi. I mean, it's going to be frigid. And I've been asking everybody that we're working on, and, this week will be one of the busiest weeks that we've ever had, because we have like 5, 6, 7 people every single day, which we're pushing to cram it. And we are blessed. We're also going to be hitting the road for a little bit to do some more research and, to try to find a place that is both affordable for us and just feels right as well. But as you can see here, And again, there are those people that think that in these times when we get into the real mini ice age coming, the only place that would really be feasible is in between the tropics. But yet we could do all we can do. We could always do greenhouses as well. And, these records are going to be just falling. And, this touches on the avalanche problems that we've seen as well. Massive cold that we're seeing. Saskatchewan, negative 56 degrees Fahrenheit. In Alberta, negative 53. In Manitoba, negative 43.6. That's deadly cold. Doesn't take long to die out there in exposure to that. The other thing that's really dangerous is the ice on the roads. Significant ice accumulation from mid-Mississippi Valley all the way to Ohio and Tennessee valleys as well. So be careful out there on the road. And again, four-wheel drive will get you through things, but it won't stop you on ice.
Right. Keep that in mind. Yep.
The Canadian prairies can be a very cold place in winter, and they're setting records there as well, as we're talking about. Negative 61.4. Oh, man, I'm getting cold thinking about it.
I am too. Brr.
It's wild. And over here in Germany, we have hundreds of drivers. Well, they didn't know they were going to spend the night on the highway, but they did.
Oh my gosh, that did happen to me one time. I got stuck in a huge blizzard overnight. That was scary.
It is scary. And so, do you have things in your car in case that happens? Do you have a lot of blankets and stuff to keep warm? What if, you're in a situation, you get stuck like this? Can you survive?
Right. You need the flares, you need the water, you need the blankets, you need the change in, for the kids, whatever they might need. So if you're headed out there at night, just be ready.
Yeah, this right here reminds me of going through West Virginia. I was going through West Virginia in a snowstorm/ice storm, and it was terrifying going up the mountains. And I was watching the trucks in front of me just kind of like swerving everywhere. It looks like this guy lost it. And again, those mountains aren't as high as the Rockies, but then it depends on, how steep the inclination is and how many switchbacks you have and all that. So we have another, well, it's not really too close, 0.94 lunar distance asteroid. And I'm glad that one's at that instead of 0.09 or 0.02 because this one's actually pretty good size. So this one would be something we'd have to watch. It's between like 80 and 174 feet.
Wow.
So that's something that might actually make it in. And here you have a month's worth of rain in 72 hours in Brazil. Just massive flooding. It's occurring all over the place. And we've been looking, I've been looking at an awful lot of houses in different sections of the country. We were looking at Texas, and I'm seeing so many houses from Texas to Florida with, significant damage from the storms, all the record-breaking tropical storms and hurricanes. And I wouldn't live right on the water as much as I love it. Believe me, I would love to be right back on, the water, but I just don't think it's prudent. And you got to also think about, the rivers, as well, because we've seen some massive flooding in the past, and we're going to see more.
Yes, we are. Just hold on tight.
And there's definitely an uptick going on again with volcanic activity. So we have over here raised to orange. This is over in Alaska. Semisopochny. Yeah, Semisopochny. There you go, volcano. Yeah, we've been talking about this one. Now we're up to orange. So will we be up to red soon? And it's not just this one. There's a lot of volcanic activity going on. Pacaya over in Guatemala erupted. And we see Etna's going as well. And we're waiting to see what else joins them. Here's a large lahar. And this is at Semeru in Indonesia. Again, there's videos there. And then we also have a giant ice volcano. And this basically happens when waterways get blocked off, and the water, it's not lava, it's water pushes its way on up.
I was kind of wondering, how does that work? But okay.
But this is over in Kazakhstan, where we saw all those animals just freezing mid-step.
That was really cold.
Because that's what 40 to 60 below does for you. I mean, it could literally stop you mid-step, and you're just, you're an icicle.
That's got to be the best place on the planet to buy winter clothes.
I don't know. They could probably have some inflation on their winter clothes because of demand.
Yeah, they might.
And by the way, guys, Monolith Madness is not over yet. You have one at Göbekli Tepe, this is just such a fascinating site. I haven't seen anybody garden monoliths with automatic weapons before, though.
Yeah, that's kind of awkward.
It is. And they say it's because of the site. I wonder.
I don't know. I think it's sending a signal of some kind for sure.
Göbekli Tepe is really, really interesting. Turkey itself is fascinating in like the Anatolian area. All those caves could house hundreds of thousands of people, and apparently did, in other times of trial and tribulation on the surface.
Yeah, they sure did.
Yeah, fascinating. So another monolith. Now, I wanted to share this with you guys because we've been sharing some other YouTubers. We love these guys. These guys are good people. They're just really good people. They've recently started growing pretty well. They're up to 28.5 thousand subscribers. They're down in Cochise County, which originally that's where we were heading. Just in these times with everything going on, we've just kind of been constantly rethinking things ourselves. Yeah. Sometimes you learn too much almost, and then you just you end up going around in circles like the wagon trains. If you remember the old Mel Brooks movie, Blazing Saddles, where the wagon trains going in circle, they're just going in a big circle, going nowhere.
Yeah, and sometimes things change in life, and you just reprioritize.
Well, it's also like you want to live too. And so, like down in Cochise County, there's a lot of people doing this. There's a lot of people doing off-grid homesteading. That's where when we moved to the west, that's where I put all our stuff in storage because that was going to be the plan. But then after spending, 15, 18 months in Death Valley-ish area, it's like, I don't want to do this. Yeah, I miss the trees. I just miss the trees. And so then we've been spending a lot of time in Arizona, Colorado, and New Mexico too. And, I think it's been a good time for introspection. We've done a lot of deep spiritual work. Yes. I think we've grown a ton, but also come to the decision that we both just enjoy trees. Mm-hmm. So we're, looking at other areas again. And that's what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going off and doing some adventuring and seeing what and where feels like home. Because in these times too, home might not be for 20 years. And, I was counting them and I'm going to be 56 this year. This will be my 28th move in my life. So on the whole, I average a move every 6 months. That's just been me. I'm a gypsy. Actually, I do have gypsy blood on my mother's father's side, by the way. But at the same time, if we could find a place that's going to work for 5 years, then that's pretty cool. And then if the earth changes get to be too much at that time, then we'll move on.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So everybody has different things you want to consider, and it's super important to be happy.
And the geopolitical situation, everything that we went through in this last 6 months especially, has most definitely made us think about what we want and what we don't want in a particular way a state's governed. So that's made us, rethink about some areas and look to the future wondering, what's going to happen if there is a breakup, a big divorce of the states? Where do we want to be?
Yeah, we definitely don't want to be dependent.
No, we want as little governance as possible because we don't trust big governance. Mm-hmm. And so, that's part of this whole idea as well. Now, these guys, they're fun. And, Jim and Jess there, and they are masters at building with earth bags. They have built, they built like a 25 or 30,000 gallon cistern. Yes. And they built a big, huge root cellar, all with earth bags. And now they're building their home, which is really kind of cool. they're going to have a bedroom that's down below ground level, and the living space is going to be above. And there's going to be connections. They're going to have tunnels running. You check it out. These are really nice, good people.
Very, very good people. Please check them out. Give them a thumbs up.
And so, they're one of the channels that we support.
Yes, we do.
So thank you guys for being part of the family. As always, make sure you're subscribed. And also thanks for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. Anybody that needs to reach us, it's evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com or EEARTS@protonmail.com. May you guys be blessed with abundant peace, love, health, happiness, and wellness. And Cindy's going to give us a ding because we constantly get emails saying, all of a sudden my headache went away, or all of a sudden this happened and that happened. All these, beautiful, beneficial things from her tuning.
Yep. Okay, so here we go. Thank you. God bless and namaste.
God bless, guys. Namaste.